What makes a successful coach? In this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 key areas of focus for you to become a more successful coach. First, I'm going to start with some of the biggest challenges and problems that get in the way of coaching success. Obviously, I will share with you the solution, the overarching solution to that problem. Then I'm going to get into the 7 key areas of focus. Let's go. So before I share with you what are the 7 key areas to become a very successful coach, I need to lay out what some of the biggest problems are that people face. One of the biggest challenges that I see over and over again, and remember, I work with coaches. I am a coach and I work with mostly coaches as well. And one of the biggest problems is this time for money business model. What that means is that most of us, when we start coaching, we say, all right, let me sell my sessions. Let me sell time. I'll sell packages of 6 sessions or 12 sessions or 1 month or 3 months. And essentially what we end up getting into is a business model where we're exchanging our time for money. Now, that might be fine in the beginning, especially when you have a whole bunch of time available to sell. But as you become more and more accomplished and get better results with your clients, and there's more demand, hopefully, for what you do, you'll find that you get to a point at which you have no more time to sell. And you can raise your prices, right? But generally speaking, there's a limit to how much you can make as a coach when you're selling your time for money. So one of the biggest things we'll take a look at is how to get out of the time for money business model. Another thing that often happens with coaches is the difficulty in retaining clients, right? So we might have some really good results up front, but then over time, do your clients stay with you for years and years and years? And very often, most coaches see that clients stay with them 1 year, maybe 2 years, at most 3 years. That's kind of an industry standard. But my clients stay with me I have clients that have been with me for 7, even 8 years. Now, how do I do that? Part of that is what we're going to address in the 7 key areas of focus. And then another issue that I face with coaches is that they get burnt out. They get exhausted. They're selling their time for money, most likely, and maybe because they don't have great client retention, they're always in the hamster wheel of getting new clients and marketing and selling, and that can get old fast. So another problem is the coach that's overworked, overwhelmed, anxious, got roller coaster revenues, clients aren't hanging around, and they're giving too much of themselves to try to keep their business afloat. All of these issues are common. There are more issues as well, but these are some of the most common. And what I've found that works, the big solution, is to have a holistic approach to your coaching practice so that you're really looking at your whole being and your whole business, meaning you're not compartmentalizing the business separate from your personal life, and you start to create a more integrated approach. And that's what I'm going to share with you with these 7 key focus areas. It's a way of integrating your life and your business so that you don't have this separation, maybe even a resentment of the business, or trying to create a lot of boundaries so that you don't have to feel the discomfort of having a business that's really not working for you all that well. So what we're looking for in this integrated holistic approach is an approach really from the inside out. So a lot of times people build their businesses, their coaching practices from the outside in. They look out at the market and they say, where's the market opportunity? Where are the clients I want to work with? What would those clients buy? How can I develop programs for those clients? Rather than starting from the inside, which is really, it's step 1 of the process. Step 1 or number 1 of these focus areas, which is inner alignment. And before I get to that, I'm going to start to go into the 7 steps. I do want to invite you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, engage in the comments below. I love seeing what you all think of these videos. So please get connected with me. Let's go talk about these 7 key areas. So let's start with number 1, internal alignment. The first thing we need to look at, there are really 6 subparts of internal alignment. And the first is, who are you really? What are you great at? What are you the best at? What do you love to do? What are your strengths? What are your gifts? What are your passions, your talents? And what do you not like? What are you not so great at? What are your weaknesses? What are your dislikes? When you start from the place of really understanding who you really are, what you're really great at, you can build your coaching practice around those gifts. So that first piece, I think of it conceptually like a 5-pointed star. And at the center of that star is that you piece, that identity piece. Now, if you think of the star, it has a point that faces up to the sky, right? That point represents the second part of the internal alignment, which is your North Star, your connection to something higher, to a purpose, to a greater power. It could be God, it could be spirit, divine, your divine purpose, your destiny, whatever it is that's bigger than you and what really moves you and motivates you. Now think about the star. It has 2 arms and 2 legs. Let's start with the legs. The legs of the star go down, face down towards the earth, right? So they are the grounding points of the star. On the one hand, on the one leg, we have your life force, your self-care, your food, your sleep, right? What do you need to feel energy rich physically in your body, even emotionally? These are things that people ignore a lot of times when they're starting up a business. I did this. I told myself, well, I'll take care of myself once I figure out this business thing. Once I'm making enough money, then I'll slow down, then I'll sleep better, then I'll take care of myself, then I'll go to the gym. And of course, that never happened and it caught up with me. So the leg of the star is the part that grounds you into your own physical well-being. And then the other leg of the star are your values, right? We want to align the business with what you care about, what matters to you, what you believe in, right? So if you have a value of, let's say, a value of abundance and people having enough to live and to feed their families, then you'll want to work that into your business model or your business brand or marketing somehow, right? So these 2 legs ground you, and now we've got these 2 arms, right? And these arms, I like to think of them as extending out into the past and the future. So the arm that extends into the past is the one that's all about your beliefs. Now, and your story, right? Who are you from all these experiences that you've had? What are your beliefs? Because if you start to build a business that's out of alignment with your beliefs, it's not going to work very well. So if you have a belief, for example, that you have to work really, really hard to make money, then you'll want to examine that belief and make sure that in order to build a successful, profitable, abundant business, you might want to shift that belief. So your beliefs come from the past and they impact how you see the future. And that future is your vision and the vision of what you want to create in the world. So once the star is sort of firing on all cylinders, think about it as like shooting light out from all angles, right? When you're taking care of yourself and you're aligned with your values and you've got strong beliefs that support your vision and you're doing things that are aligned with your higher purpose and that feel good and that are aligned with who you really are, then all of that means you can create a much more successful coaching practice. And so that leads us into number 2. So the second area of focus is your lifestyle. So we talked about your internal alignment, but all of that needs to also align with your lifestyle. That means how much money you need to make, how much money you want to make. It also, lifestyle is about time. For example, let's say you're a mother and you want to be able to be home with your kids when they get home from school. Well, that means you've got to put your work day from 9 a.m. maybe or 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., right? So thinking about the lifestyle that you want to lead, what is it? How do you want to live? You might want to take Fridays off. You want to take Mondays off or Wednesdays or, play day or something like that. And once you're clear about how you want to spend your time and what you need as far as money, those are really big lifestyle considerations that you can build your business model around. Another thing to consider from a lifestyle perspective is, do you want to take vacations? Do you want to go out of the country? Do you want to travel a lot or not travel a lot? So these are all the things you'll want to think about as you build your coaching practice so you can build the practice around the kind of lifestyle you want to lead. The third thing you'll want to look at is the mechanism by which you turn your magic into money, which is also called your business model. How do you exchange your value for money? Now, like I said earlier, most coaches time for money model, But there are other models out there, like mine, for example. I have a retreat/big back end model. Now, if you want to go deeper into what that means, I have a whole lot of videos about my business model, and you can check them out by clicking on the playlist below in the notes. But essentially, my model is I deliver all my work, or most of it, in group formats. I do retreats, I have a mastermind, I have a group coaching program, and this is how I deliver the bulk of my magic. The fourth thing you'll want to look at, the area of focus for a successful coaching business, is your brand. Your brand is your identity out in the world. So we talked about, number one, your identity internally, and you need to package that identity and put it out into the world on your website, on your email signature, on your YouTube channel, right? Your brand is how you present yourself to the world. And you'll really want to look at having an authentic brand that speaks to your clients. And the more authentic you are, the more clear you are about who you really are, the easier it is to make a brand that aligns and that resonates with your people. Now, I have a whole bunch of videos on branding as well, so I'm not going to go deep into that here. And I invite you to watch one of my playlists or some of my videos on my playlist about branding, which you can also check out below in the notes. Now, the fifth thing is marketing. And marketing, the way I look at it, is the consistent process of putting your brand out into the world. What are you putting out on a regular basis that your people can find and consume? So right now, you're watching some of my marketing. I use content marketing. I put my best content, my best information into these YouTube videos and share them, knowing that some people will resonate with them, will want to work with me, and then will reach out and we'll have a conversation. So marketing is that consistent activity. Podcasting, YouTubing, email marketing, Facebook ads, social media. These are all ways that you put your brand out into the world, and you must have some sort of consistent marketing strategies if you want to be a successful coach. The sixth key area of focus is obviously your sales. How are you turning all that marketing into revenue? Now, you can have the best marketing in the world that resonates on every level. People are flocking to you, but you need to know how to convert that into sales. So the way that I do that might be the way different from the way that you do that, but I use always something called a meaningful conversation. I learned that term from one of my mentors, Mark LeBlanc. If I'm going to work with somebody, especially in one of my group coaching programs, I want to have a conversation with them. I want to talk to them. So that's my primary sales methodology. And then in addition to that, for my do-it-yourself courses, I have sales funnels and webinars that help me do the sales conversion. But you've got to figure out how to convert. And one of the biggest issues that I see with coaches is that they're scared of sales, or they resist it, or they procrastinate it. Sometimes they even think that they're above it and they shouldn't have to do it, and they try to outsource it to someone else. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's really important that you learn to master the art of sales yourself first before you try to push it off onto someone else. And finally, we have number 7, delivery. Making sure that you are delivering outstanding outcomes to your clients. How do you do that? That's usually related to operations and your own personal development. Your personal development on the one hand, so that you can develop a coaching process or system that works, and operationally setting up the structures and systems that you need to support you in coaching and delivering value to your clients. If you found this video useful and helpful and you're looking to become a more successful coach, maybe I can help. Let's connect and have a conversation. You can find me at superstaractivator.com/go, and you can book a call on my calendar by going to that landing page.